The story of Cain and Abel is a really hard one to think about. I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to say to you about it, so I went away to think about it for a bit, and I talked to my family, and I talked to a really good friend of mine. So now, I'd like to share with you what I think about the story of Cain and Abel. For me, the story has 3 messages. I'm going to tell you 2 now, and I'm going to save the really big message for the very end. The first one is that we should really always try to do the right thing in any situation. When we're kind and caring and honest, then we can hold our heads up and we can look people straight into the eyes and we can feel proud and loved and appreciated and happy, and we smile. So it's a great thing always to do the best, always to do the right thing that we can. The second message, and this is a really hard one for me, the second message is that we all need to learn to accept that there will always be other people who can do as well as or better than we can at pretty much everything. And that's really hard for me because I like to be good at things. And sometimes it's really hard for me to recognize that somebody's better at something than I am. It's not easy, but it's a really important thing to do. Because by valuing other people's talents, we also learn to recognize our own and to keep everything in perspective. So it's a really important thing to do. Now let's look a little bit more at this story. What's God saying to us by telling this story about Cain doing this terrible, terrible thing to his brother? So I think he's telling us always, like I said, always to do what's right. He's saying, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous of what other people can do. Appreciate their talents for what they are. Recognize what you can learn from what other people can do. Don't lie. God asks Cain why Cain isn't meeting his eyes. Why isn't Cain looking directly at God? Why is he looking anywhere but at God and not telling the truth about something that we've done wrong? That always makes it worse. It never ever helps. So it's always best, always to tell the truth about what you've done. Don't make the situation worse. Don't be vengeful. Don't try to get revenge when you feel somebody's done something wrong for you. And that will likely, just like lying, that will likely just make you feel worse in the end. So it's best to try to avoid it. So, what's the really big thing? Remember I said there were 3 things. What's the really big thing that we can learn from this? What we learn from this is that God loves all of us. And he loves us all the time, even when we do things wrong. He sets out rules and he asks us to follow them, and he might punish us when we don't. But that's because he loves us and because he wants us to be the best people we can be. So he's trying to help us to be better. Cain does a terrible thing to his brother Abel because he was jealous and he was vengeful and he was angry. And God punished him for it severely. But God also forgave him and God protected him. We all get things wrong sometimes, but God always forgives us and he always protects us and he always loves us.